Hi, I'm Kevin Cummings. At Investors Bank, we believe in helping our local neighborhoods and improving the lives of all we serve. We're a different bank that makes a difference for our employees, clients, and communities. That's why we're proud to support public television and the programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Investors Bank, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Berkeley College, the Russell Berry Foundation, PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, and by Verizon. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands, and by New Jersey Family Magazine and njfamily.com.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Hi, Steve Adubato here in beautiful New Providence, New Jersey. I'm here with my colleague, Joanna Gagas. This is the 7th Annual New Jersey Sharing Network 5K. Big event, Gift of Life.
Absolutely. Every year we come here because we understand the importance of educating the public about organ and tissue donation, and we know that for every person who registers, 75 lives can be saved. It's incredible.
Last year, they saved hundreds of people's lives. People gave the gift of life. In this program and the following half hour on both Life and Living and One-on-One, our other programs, you are going to see people who are here because someone gave the gift of life to them. You're going to see family members of people who decided to give the gift of life to others. They're marching together, Joanna, on teams.
That's right. 10,000 here gathered today. It's such a significant event in New Jersey because so many people have been impacted, like you said, by this issue. And so in this next half hour and in the programs that we're going to do, we're going to be talking to those people, hearing their stories, and I'm sure it's going to move you in the way that it's moved us.
Check it out. Welcome, folks. I'm Steve Adubato. More importantly, we are at the New Jersey Sharing Network 5K Celebration of Life to honor, to remember, to give hope. And we're with our good friend and colleague in this cause who's been leading it for a long time, Joe Roth, who is the president and CEO of New Jersey Sharing Network. Great day once again in New Providence, New Jersey, right?
Yep. Wonderful day. Our 7th 5K Celebration of Life, and we can't be prouder to continue this tradition on as it's going. And a beautiful day. So much energy here today. It's terrific.
Joe, you've been in philanthropy. You've been in the corporate world. You've been giving and making a difference for a long time. What makes this effort, this organization, and ultimately the people it serves so special?
Well, you know, the people we work with, our job is to save and enhance lives through organ donation and transplantation. And this is like the culmination of that effort every year to bring people together, donor families, recipients, people waiting for the gift, people involved in transplantation from the various transplant centers. And they have a chance to come here together one day of the year and just celebrate this whole great effort to save lives.
Joe, one of the things that has struck me, your team was giving us some of the stats over the past year. Talk about 2016, past year, and the fact that 613 transplants were possible, 16% increase. Why?
I think why? That's a great question. I think what we're
people becoming more aware?
Yes, we're getting the message out, and people are becoming more aware. Everywhere I go in my travels around the state, people come up to me and say, oh, I had a loved one who needed a transplant, or I had a loved one who became an organ donor, or I'm registered as an organ donor. So we're getting this message out. More and more people are there and available to give the gift when the opportunity presents itself.
Some of the changes, Joe, some of the changes that are going on in the field, what are the most significant and how has it changed the transplant process?
Well, there's a lot of things going on in the field. I think the ability to do living donation for kidneys is a very important area of transplant. More and more people are donating a kidney who are still alive and giving somebody else the gift of life. They're called paired donations, so people can voluntarily offer a kidney into a pool, and then the transplant programs can match people all over the country, basically, and create chains of transplants that save lives.
I often disclose certain things, and one of the things I'll disclose, other than being partners with the Sharing Network, is that my wife, Jen, and I've said this before, is an organ donor, her kidney. I got to tell you, for those of us in the family at the time, because we were not partners when she did this, there was a degree of trepidation. There was some concern. She's as healthy as ever. I can't keep up with her when we work out together. She's as strong as ever. There's some misconception as to what happens when you do this.
Absolutely, there are misconceptions. Notwithstanding, there are risks anytime you go into a surgical procedure, but it's done under very controlled conditions. It's minimally invasive. They do it through a couple of holes punched in the abdomen, laparoscopically they call it. And the patient actually can go home within a day of the procedure, which wasn't the way it was done early on when they had to make a larger incision and the patient had to spend several days in the hospital recuperating. So the survival of the donors is terrific, virtually almost 100%. And it's a less risky procedure, and yet what comes out of it is a very, very pristine organ that goes into a person, and they get the longest survival times with those organs, so it's terrific.
Joe, the other part of this is that we'll be talking to, throughout this program, you're going to see some families of those who chose to give the gift of life. There's a 24-year-old man, I believe it's Nicholas Moreno. We'll be talking to his parents. His family's here. Yeah. They're celebrating what he gave. He saved multiple lives. Exactly. Those are the stories we're hearing today.
Exactly. Some have met their recipients, some families, and
some are meeting for the first time today.
Some are meeting for the first time today, and we help facilitate that, and then they become family. It's just a very special experience that I can't describe how important it is for us and part of our DNA at the Sharing Network to make this happen.
Final message to those out there who say, wow, how inspiring, how terrific. What a great day, what a great organization, the Sharing Network. What can I do? The answer is, as they look at the site?
Well, one, they can become an organ donor and register as an organ donor, and there's several ways you can do that. But it starts at our website, www.njsharingnetwork.org, and there is a register to be an organ donor button, and that'll take you to the National Donor Registry, the Donate Life America Registry, where you can register. But there's another way that we're pushing too, and that's through the iPhone health app. iOS 10 now allows you to go on your iPhone. You can even say, Siri, how do I become an organ donor? And
Siri knows.
Siri knows. Siri absolutely knows. And you can go right on that site, sign up to be an organ donor, and it goes into the National Registry. So hopefully soon we'll have an Android version of that too. And everybody with a phone will be able to register as an organ donor.
Can't thank you enough. It is an honor for us. On behalf of everyone at Public Television, we got into this to make a difference, and you help us make this difference. Thank you, Joe.
And I can only echo, Steve, how important our partnership has been and how much of the word gets out through your efforts and your team's efforts. So thank you, too, for your special relationship with the Sharing Network.
Our honor.
Thank you.
We're here with Dr. Stuart Geffner, one of the many, thousands, in fact, who are here at the 5K, the Sharing Network 5K. But you are actively engaged, involved, and you do this every day. You help people with the gift of life. Talk about your work at RWJ Barnabas Health.
Sure. I've been the director of renal and pancreas transplant surgery for the past 22 years at St. Barnabas and RWJ Barnabas Health. It's incredibly rewarding to see these people out here today, those who have had family members that have given the gift of life, those that have received the gift of life. It's really our pleasure as physicians and healthcare professionals to provide care for these patients and help them and really restore their lives.
Dr. Geffner is very connected to our family. My wife, Jennifer, as I've said before, donated her kidney. You know a little bit about that surgery. Talk to folks about what that surgery is so people know.
So there are two ways that someone can receive a kidney. One is from a deceased donor that has passed and has offered to donate their organs to patients that are on the waiting list. And the other is through a living donation, particularly for kidney transplantation. And that is where a young, healthy person can donate one of their two kidneys. You only need one kidney to live with. You can live the remainder of your life exactly as you had previously before donation. So those patients can offer to donate a kidney to their loved one, family member, friend. And it's a surgery that's performed with minimally invasive surgery. Patients usually in the hospital for 24 to 48 hours, recover within a week or two, and they have given the gift of life to their family member or friend.
Thank you for everything you do, Dr. Geffner.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today. It's great to see everyone here today. It's a terrific event for...
Great organization.
It's a fantastic organization, the Sharing Network.
Thanks, Stu.
Thank you.
We're here with two more friends of the Sharing Network. This is Kim Slayton, donor, family member, and team captain of Biff's Gifts. Tell us what this is all about, because we're also going to be talking about an extraordinary person who gave the gift of life, Dr. Randy Giles, at 43 years of age.
Yes. So Randy is my cousin, my nephew's godfather, and he started this, he ran it, and then unfortunately he passed, but the good thing is that he gave the gift of life, and so from there Biff's Gifts was born, and we've been a part of this for the last 5 years.
Now, you're a part of this 5K today. What does it mean to you?
It means a lot because it's in memory of my uncle Randy, who's also my godfather and a doctor.
Dr. Giles was an extraordinary person. Everyone we talk to talks about him. He had his own children, 3 children, if I'm not mistaken. Why do you think he gave that gift?
Because Randy was always the one to give back. Randy would give you the shirt off his back in a heartbeat, and never look back and never ask a question why, and it was always about giving. So that was Randy's first thing.
And you come together today to walk, to be a part of the Sharing Network 5K. Is it because of his gift and the memory of him?
It's for him. It's for him and it's for all the others, but definitely for him. He taught us to give. He taught us how to be unselfish, and we want to give that back as much as we can every year.
Do you think we actually can move people to do something they otherwise either not that people wouldn't want to give, but they wouldn't know how to give? And you see the website up as we're talking right now, the Sharing Network. Is that also why we are here today, why you're here today, why we're here today, is to try to send that message?
Absolutely, absolutely. It shows that what we have, we can share it with everybody. And so everybody gets touched by this, and it doesn't touch just one person. One person can touch 7 to 8 lives in a minute. So yeah.
By the way, check this out. This is Randy did. Randy saved 5 lives. His organs saved 5 lives. His tissue donation helped more than 50 others. That's just extraordinary. Talk about that.
How do you explain that? How do you talk about that? How do you give?
That's why I had no real question. I didn't know where to go with it. I mean, it's
like that just goes to show you that one person touched over 60 lives in a heartbeat. So if we can do that, if one person can do that, imagine if just the 3 of us standing right here, if we did that. How many lives can we help?
That's why people should go on right now and find a way to register. To know that your uncle, Dr. Giles, gave so much to so many others who are here because of him. I know that you're a young man about my son's age, and you know there might be a lot of pressure on you, but I'm going to ask you, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me because he helped so many lives after he passed away, and I was really grateful that he was able to help so many people.
You got it right. What do you think of this guy?
I love this guy. This is my heart right here. We do this all the time, and it was because of him we even started volunteering.
Thank you for everything you're doing, and thank you for Dr. Giles and the gift that he gave to others.
Thank you.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
I'm joined right now by Deanna Fenton, who's a hospital services manager for the New Jersey Sharing Network. What does that mean, Deanna, to be a hospital services manager?
So as a hospital services manager, we really work closely with the hospitals to develop them and make sure that they're aware of the best practices associated with organ and tissue donation. So that includes meeting with administrators to review policies to make sure that they're in coordinates with the state laws. We provide education to the healthcare team to make sure that they're aware of what to do if and when they have a patient who could be a potential candidate.
What are some of those best practices when it comes to communicating with the families, when it comes to expediency of getting the organs to where they need to go?
So the best practices include basically just ensuring that there's a separation between healthcare and the conversation regarding donation. So when it comes time for us to approach the families and have that conversation, we want to make sure that there's a clear separation between the healthcare team and the Sharing Network staff.
So in other words, the healthcare team has done everything that they could to revive the patient. If it does not work, it is at that point that you come in.
Exactly, absolutely. And that's when we're there to support the families first and foremost, but then we also provide them with the education surrounding organ tissue donation and offer them that opportunity in hopes that this is the one positive thing that they can kind of hold on to, even in such a tragic occurrence.
Why is it so important that the hospitals are on board with the mission and the process in the same way that the New Jersey Sharing Network is?
Because we rely a lot on our hospital partners. They support us through the process. They help us to manage the patient to ensure that those organs remain viable for transplant. So it's really important that they work with us throughout the entire process.
And I can imagine in those sensitive moments when a family is absorbing the information, really coming to terms with the fact that their loved one is lost, there's got to be a very sensitive way to approach that family, right? So that they understand what the mission is of saving lives through that loss.
Absolutely. Every conversation is different. Every family is different. But before we ever have that conversation with a family, we make sure that we know a little bit about their dynamics so that we can frame that conversation so it's personal to them.
Why do you love this job? You've only been here about 1.5 years.
I started as actually a donor family, so for me, this is a very close thing that's to my heart, and to be able to be so close to it day in and day out really means the world for me, and I feel like I'm supporting my uncle, and he's with me every single day, so.
Tell us quickly about your uncle.
My uncle was a great guy. He was a poet. He wrote books, and unfortunately, he passed away recently back in October. And we were approached by the Sharing Network for him to possibly give the gift of life to others, and of course, we said yes.
Deanna, how do you tell your story as you are now doing your job and helping others understand what this can mean?
I just use it as an opportunity to not only show the staff, but also families when I'm having that conversation with them that this is something positive and this is something that you can hold on to as the years move forward. And, it really does make a world of difference for you, even if you can't see it in that immediate moment. In the end, it is the best thing to do.
And of course, for the families who are impacted, those who receive the organs and the tissue.
Absolutely. And you get another family as well. When you get to meet the recipients and reach out to them, it's like gaining more and more family, and that's more and more love to share. So,
thank you, Deanna.
Thank you.
Check out the 5K here, the annual 5K at the Sharing Network. Look at these runners. They're coming in. Trust me, in about 15 minutes, there'll be people not running that fast. But everyone here at the 5K is committed to this cause, including Howard Nelson, Chair of the Board of Trustees at the New Jersey Sharing Network. Great day today.
Thank you, Steve. This is great to be here. Thank you for coming. This is a wonderful event, and we're so proud of all the participation of the volunteers and all of the participants who are running and walking in the event.
So you joined the board here at the Sharing Network in 2012. A friend of yours, a mutual friend of ours, said, hey, why don't you...
Do you have any relationship to people who might have an organ transplant? And I said, yeah, I've got a couple of family members and some very close friends who one had gotten a heart, two had gotten kidneys, and another one had donated. And he said, do you know anything about organ transplantation? And I said, well, medically, yes, but not about the process. And he said, well, would you want to get involved in that? I'm like, of course. I want to do as much as I can to help this. I've benefited a lot from having my family members and friends, live longer and be with me. So anything that I can do to help that and help others.
It's interesting, the Sharing Network seems to bring folks together from lots of different walks of life. And professionally, your background is?
Yes, I have a biotech company that's based in Princeton. I teach at the college in New Jersey.
But this philanthropic piece, you can wind up being involved in a lot of terrific charities, terrific organizations in New Jersey and the metropolitan region. But what's special about the Sharing Network?
Oh, the Sharing Network does work that is above and beyond the general calling of other type of not-for-profits. They truly do save lives. They engage in the community, and they do the hard work of making people's lives better. This is an outstanding organization from top to bottom, and it's just such a wonderful environment to be a part of. So you can see all the enthusiasm of the people that are walking by. They love what they're doing. They love what it represents, and we all want to do something that's meaningful and persist beyond who we are. And it's easy to give of yourself when you know that you're doing such good work for other people.
Yeah, we hooked up and we started working with the Sharing Network, I guess around 4 years ago. And the whole idea was about public awareness. It's as simple as that. It's to let people know about organ and tissue donation And if you, not only about it, but who has been helped by it, who has given the gift of life. And listen, this isn't a telethon. We're not pitching you to do anything you otherwise wouldn't want to do, but that awareness when you're renewing your driver's license, that awareness by going on the website and finding out more about organ and tissue donation is why we are here today. Public awareness, finally, is key, isn't it?
Public awareness is essential. Being able to sign up for the registry, alerting your family members to your intention to give the gift of life, and signing up for the registry when you need an organ. These are the things that need to be communicated to the community effectively, and this organization reaches out in every way it can. It's important for everybody to be engaged in this.
Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, thank you. This has been wonderful. Thank you for being here, and I just want to say this is a highlight of my professional career.
Folks, we're with some pretty incredible people. This is Sharon Moreno, her son Nicholas, at the age of 24 years of age, right before Christmas in 2015. Before he passed, he made a decision to give the gift of life, did he not?
He did. He was actually put on a donor list himself for a new shoulder, and 2 weeks later, complete change, he became the donor.
And he gave the gift of life to several people, and two of them, this is the amazing thing about this event at the Sharing Network, you get to meet people who are here today and living the quality of life they're living because of those who gave the gift of life. Tell us who you are.
Daniel from Pittsburgh.
And you're here because of Nicholas.
Correct, yes. Here because of Nicholas. I had 2 weeks to live. Couldn't find a donor and, found one, and thank God, still here.
And you received a liver.
Yes.
2 weeks to live.
2 weeks.
If you can go back and describe what it was like when you found out that gift of life was being given to you because of this extraordinary young man.
Well, there was one about 6 weeks, when they gave me about 6 weeks to live. There was one donor that came, and they said, obviously it wasn't a match, so they had to look for another donor, and they said, don't have hope, basically. Get your affairs in order. The day before Christmas, they came in and just said, find you a donor, and it was a match. And the first thing you think about is like the family that lost the person. It's selfish to think, maybe I'm passing away, but you think about the person that lost their family member and everything, and it's just really hard. I mean, I couldn't imagine, especially losing a child. I have 2 daughters myself, and I was terrified, they would have to grow up without father and everything, so.
And that's because of Nicholas. And Nicholas's team is marching today. Nicholas's team is called?
Moreno Makes Miracles.
Yeah, he sure did make miracles. And Jay, you received, I don't want to reach across from you, if I can just stay right here. You received a gift of life as well because of Nicholas. Talk about it.
I had 2 LVADs, which is a machine you have to wear 24/7 to keep my heart pumping, and I received Nicholas's heart.
And for you, what has it meant in your life?
It meant everything. It meant living. I mean, I had 3 surgeries, 3 open hearts, in a matter of a year and a half, so it kind of saved my life.
And so Moreno Makes Miracles. That team is marching today, walking today, one of the largest groups at the Sharing Network 5K. Why do you join today and do this?
Come for Sharon and for Nicholas.
What does that mean to you?
It means everything. If Nick could see this would be his dream, that he was able to help 5 people. And next year, we are going to have 5 of the recipients here walking with us.
So being able to see these guys behind you and having others that that Nicholas helped is not really the right word, gave them the gift of life, means everything to you.
It's a comfort. Like, I today feel that Nick is walking with me. And he is. With Jay and Dan, he is walking with his team and his family and his friends today.
And for those who are watching right now, and we all face the ultimate end, but everyone has a different way and time, and he was so extraordinarily young. He made that decision on his own?
He did. Completely on his own. In fact, because of that decision, our entire family became donors because of him.
24 years of age. I believe he was at William Patterson University, about to go in. And he is aware enough, a leader, a courageous young man, aware and caring about others.
Well, that's the kind of person he was. Like, he would help anyone. In fact, when organ donation came up, and he said to me, Mom, you're not an organ donor? And I'm like, no. He's like, what's wrong with you? If you can help someone, why doesn't everyone become an organ donor to help people that need help? And I'm like, you're right.
Well, it's because of Nicholas and his gift, his caring, compassion that you guys are here. There are 3 others. Hopefully we'll be together in 2018. But most of all, I want to thank you and your family for being with us today at this extraordinary event.
Thank you very much. We're proud to be here.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Investors Bank, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Berkeley College, the Russell Berry Foundation, PSC&G, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
I work for Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I'm a catastrophic case manager. I'm a nurse. I feel a sense of responsibility to each and every member that I speak with on the phone. I know where they live, I know their towns, I know the hospitals they go to. A lot of times I know their physicians, and I love helping people at very difficult times of their lives. The job I have now is the perfect job for me. I think I was born a nurse.